So our final is between Timinator and Phantasmagoria, and they are currently at turn one. So there's not much movement going on right there.
Yep.
Um, in the meantime, is there any games that we glossed over that you want us to look over? Because there's quite a bit that we did not get to go over due to time constraints. Anybody still watching the stream can
Yeah, we got
suggest a game
15
to us.
people.
Oh yeah. Reza says his first game.
Nico versus Fant.
Nico
We
versus
talked about
Fan.
that one, didn't
We did that one. Reza wants us to do Reza versus Medic, which I don't really see too.
That was first round. We didn't.
No, yeah, Intimidator. We went through Nico versus Fant. I I went over that because Phantasmagoria did two upsets this tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely did not miss that one. Um, and then Intimidator versus Hedja was just not long enough to go over. Reza versus Schwenigan was not that interesting. Um, I guess we could go over Phantasmagoria versus Chocolate Cookie, to which is quite a long game, but it would give us a little bit more insight over Phantasmagoria coming into the final round.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, 16 turns. It's not too
It's
long.
well, it's a long game in terms of they get tons of bonuses.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, like I think Chocolate Cookie just waited a little bit too long to surrender in that game. Oh, Hedja versus Zerbi was apparently good. We could look at that one. I'm going to gloss over it really quick and see what I think. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I like this one more because I don't think Chocolate Cookie versus Phantasmagoria was that great.
Okay.
Zerbi versus Hedja is a little bit more interesting, and I also like the board for this a little bit more. Yeah. Um, Zerbi being our first champion, knocked out first round this tournament, which is a little bit unfortunate. Um, it's truly a shame.
Yeah. Similar to last tournament where he didn't really make it very far, unfortunately.
Well, last tournament he had to play HHH.
Yeah.
One does not simply beat HHH at 1v1.
Well, uh, he had someone come Terminator outdo him this time, but he still made it 3 games.
Zerbi and Hedra. Um, this board, I like it a little bit more than most of the other ones we've had to deal with. I'm seeing a two-turn bonus in West Africa. I am seeing a two-turn bonus in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Um, other than that,
Yeah, there's
not
really not a whole
really,
lot else.
not really much else because of the triple pick in Asia makes that not that great.
There's a triple pick in East Africa too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not sure if I agree with that one. Um, so all in all, we can see that the focus will be Africa, a little bit of the America, and perhaps a little bit of Asia with the Middle East and Caucasus.
Yeah.
So let's see what they ended up picking.
Yep. Hedja going for Brazil, Congo, Sudan. Interesting pick there that lets him get West Africa in 2 turns easily. And then, and then possibly East Africa the next turn after that. That would be a little bit of a stretch, though.
We see the triple pick in this case is it's okay. I mean, at this it gives him such a fast expansion rate into all of Africa, and it also allows him to do a little bit of South America. So, I mean, it's not too bad. I think Zerbi's picks were a little bit better as we can move on to his. We're going
Yep.
to take this a little bit faster than normal.
Him going Novo, Moscow, Hong Kong really spreads his picks out a lot more than Hedger was spreading his out.
And I agree with that a little bit more because this game is a little bit more about positioning, and in this, he knows that West Russia is safe. He knows that what East China is going to be safe, and then he has quite a good counter against Africa. So, all in all, I like his picks a little bit more. The one in Greenland is questionable as a 6 pick.
Yeah.
Even though knowing it will be safe, it's F5. Not too great. I would have rather had your 6 pick as Caucasus. That way you could alternatively get Caucasus in 2 or 3 turns, I think. I think it could be a 2 turn if you had West Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening in 2 turns if you do it, if your luck is good. You know, roll that dice, see what goes on. Anyway, so the picks a little bit better on Zerbi's side, but Hedja able to get that triple pick is going to be a little bit dangerous coming into Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, Caucasus really does actually look quite good. Being able
Yeah,
to get that in 2 turns.
I'm not sure why another player was able to double up on that. That would have been a little bit more interesting.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, let's see how the territory is distributed. Hedger getting his first 3, and Zerbi getting his first 3 as well. So none of
So,
them know where anyone else is.
but you can pretty much
Oh yeah.
assume where your opponent is. Uh, at this game, the more experienced players are able to assume exactly where their opponent has picked from here. A skill which Swenigan has showed us that he's pretty good at in
Oh yeah.
the past. So, this triple pick in for Hedja is going to allow him to expand quite fast into Africa. It looks like Zerbi goes for Antarctica, even though he should know a little bit better that, Antarctica is going to be an unsafe bonus for this game. Ooh, that's going to really put him at a disadvantage.
Yeah. He should have focused in West Russia or possibly East China instead of that.
Mm-hmm. East China would have been a little bit better because that's assumed safe because it would take a while for Indonesia to get over there. And
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would pick Indonesia. So it looks like Hedja's going first turn to focus on West Africa, and then second turn going to focus on South America, which is going to conflict with Zerbi pretty soon up here.
Oh yeah, and he from Argentina on turn 2 hits down to Sipple.
Oh,
Like in perfect time to prevent Zerbi from being able to capture that.
a very good move on Hedge's part. Was able to predict that his opponent had to be in Antarctica. Very nicely done. So I give props for Hedja.
Oh yeah. And turn 3, he puts everything down in Sipple, probably expecting some contention there, and because he doesn't even end up hitting South Pole.
hmm It seems that Zerbi was able to predict that his opponent would focus on Sipple, and so Zerbi decided, I need to get a bonus as quickly as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately,
He's not
he
able to,
doesn't get it. However, Hedger doesn't get a card.
which could pull it in Zerbi's favor because he's going to get that reinforcement one turn before. So
Hmm.
it looks like Zerbi moving towards Australia here for the possible uh, expand and blockade right there. So that should be a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. He forget to move those guys or something on turn 4? He just those guys are just sitting there the entire turn. He
Huh.
may have forgotten to move them. Unfortunately for him.
Well, it can. The only good move would have been moving them up to Australia, then blockading
Yeah.
in. That would have been really fantastic move because then he has Australia as a safe bonus. Huh. Ah, oh well. Missed opportunities.
Yep. He does move up to New Zealand the next turn.
But it's a little bit too late because he's not
Yeah.
able to stop Hedja from preventing any Australian movement. Yeah, even Kingu says, Zerbi should have blockaded in Antarctica somewhere because now Hedja is definitely going to get that bonus eventually.
Yeah. It's just he's just not gonna be able to. Zerber's just not gonna be able to block it very easily. Not for very long, at least. I mean, he does get back south at pole on turn 5.
So he could do a blockade there.
Yeah, this is
So
when he should
he
blockade a
lucks out.
Novo, and then
Definitely, if he doesn't blockade Novo, there's something wrong with him.
yeah. He does end up finishing off his 2 bonuses in East China and West Georgia, so they're evened out at 13 at least. So,
But Hedja has the army advantage at this point with
yep.
the 18 stack still rolling around. Man, the
Okay,
stream is almost delayed by like a minute now.
it is.
Yeah, for me, it's taking you a while. There we go. Alright, as we can see, Hedja,
It's about 5
using
seconds
his
for me.
reinforcement, did Zerbi use his reinforcement last turn on turn 5?
Yes.
Alright, that's what I assumed. Okay, good. So Zerbi moving into Caucasus, a little bit into Southeast Asia, able to keep Antarctica a little bit alive, but we'll see if he ends up using his blockade.
Yep.
He does. Yay.
But he did
Thank.
get knocked out of a spot in New Zealand, so now Hedger's able to get that, and he's going to have to be worrying about Hedger moving into Indonesia in a few turns.
And possibly Hedrick getting Australia,
Oh yeah. And
because
Hedger now being in a position to finish off East Africa, he's going to be moving into the Middle East pretty soon.
and Hedrick can also finish off Antarctica because that 7 is not substantial enough to stop him.
Yeah.
At some point, the loss is going to be more in his favor because he eventually has to attack that 4 in South Africa anyways. So he's going to have to expend a lot of armies either way for both the expansions.
Hmm. And he does try it next turn with 9, doesn't quite finish it off though.
hmm
And then Zerbi's able to finish off Caucasus right as Hedger's able to finish off East Africa, keeping himself even in the reinforcements. And now he's in a position to get Southeast Asia as well. At the same turn that Hedger's in a position to get all of South Africa.
Very good move.
Yep, he's able to stay even with reinforcements so far, at least. Going on to turn 8. It looks like Zerbi's going to start working on West China as well.
Which is not really that bad of a choice for him. That 6 bonus can be very great in some
Oh
games I've
yes.
seen.
Personally, for me, I would probably have already started working on Indonesia to make sure that I can get down to Malaysia and Papua New Guinea by
And
the
then
time he's able to get Australia.
that would also allow you to encounter Antarctica in a timely manner.
Yeah,
hmm
and he
I'm
does.
surprised. I'm surprised that we're not even seeing that much movement from either player into Australia when it should be a little bit more substantial than that. If I were Hedja, I would be focused on getting up there
Oh
as
yeah,
soon as possible to pop any uh, the Asian movements going on. So both players thinking of this game in terms of the long-term outcome, and Hedja is going to win in the long term, so I don't know why Zerbi tries to force it into a long-term game.
yep. Huh. Interesting. Zerbi going from Iran to Turkey on turn 9. I'm not sure why we go to Turkey. Iraq seems a much better choice.
Huh.
And then he is able to finish off West China as Hedja comes in to Middle East.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's one turn away from getting North Africa as well. He's going 27 to Zerbi's 20. I mean, he's getting 23 to Zerbi's 27. Zerbi really needs to start working on Indonesia though, because Hedja's just about to finish off Australia.
Yeah, Zerbi is very late into the Indonesian game,
Oh
to
yeah.
which he should have been paying a little bit more close attention to,
Oh yeah. I mean,
because,
it's at this point because he's not in Indonesia, he has no real other positions to expand to because there's blockades everywhere else. He
yeah,
can't even go through Hawaii.
and that means Hedja is going to gain the advantage.
Oh yeah.
This is why I think Zerbi ended up surrendering, because we can see both players end up getting close to the same income, but Hedja with better positioning. So,
Yeah. Big stacks in Israel, and then on turn 11, a big stack in Western Australia. Those 2 points in Middle East and Australia, Indonesia, are where this game's going to come down to. Because expansions for both people are really difficult right now. Really, it's like West US and Canada and Greenland are the only 3 safe bonuses left on the map. I mean,
yeah.
non-wasteland bonuses.
And neither, well, Zerbi in a good position to get over there if he had to, but it would take him a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I didn't really go over this game, is because at this point, Hedja obviously in the lead, and they just kind of bounce back and forth for the next 6 turns.
Yep. And one critical thing is that uh, he rams in with 29 on Western Australia. Does he make? No, but Hedger doesn't retaliate with that when he could have taken it. So unfortunately for him, that may have helped in the game a little bit faster. He then focuses in Egypt. Still managing to keep Australia, which is key for him. As long as he can keep that, then he has a slight reinforcement advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Zerbi decided to work on actually gaining Indonesia. Barely misses out on Solomon Islands. If he was able to get that, then he would have evened out the reinforcements, which might have helped him a little bit as well.
Yeah. This game just back and forth and back and forth for a while.
Oh yeah.
No real solid
Whew.
movements from either player.
Back up to turn 13 though, Zerbi does finish off Solomon Islands to finish the Indonesia bonus, and then hits in Queensland and takes it, while Hedja does not hit Malaysia, which was easily exposed. That
Hmm.
that gives Zerbi a 5 reinforcement advantage.
But that's short-lived because Hedges got the positional advantage over here.
Oh yeah, and he moves in
Like
a
that.
huge stack into Malaysia, 52. There's just no real way to defend Thailand now, and from Thailand he's just going to be able to break bonus after bonus after bonus.
Hmm.
And Hedja blockading in New Zealand like he should. That keeps that from being a bonus for Hedja. I'm for Zerbi. And he gives up in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Uh, Best idea.
Yeah, but now he's just going to be losing bonus after bonuses, and
Yeah, it
he's
has
not
to.
in Egypt yet. So
Yeah, at this point, we can obviously see why Zerbi ends up deciding to surrender
oh yeah,
because he's just in no position to defend himself. Um, all right. Well, since this game is basically over, um, I'm going to talk to our little crowd going on. Sean again was asking some things. Um, for 2 versus 2, I really need a good push for that because we're going to need at least 8 teams, which is going to be a total of 16 players to make it interesting. And commentating that, Mythonian and kcscrag can do a very good job. I'll be participating with my teammate JSA if that comes to be. Um, as for 3v3, um, I I just I don't feel confident enough commentating for 3v3. I really need to, to have some players that are very good at 3 versus 3 to come in and commentate for us because I don't think Mythonian and kcscrag or even I have really played enough 3v3 to know it.
yeah, that's
Also,
true.
also with double elimination, it makes the tournament much longer. It actually expanded out twice as long. So there's no way we would be able to do 16 players because it would be even worse than having a 32-player single elimination game because instead of 5 brackets, you have a total of 8. So yeah. So when it comes to double elimination, no way. Sorry. Just not happening for 1v1 because that would expand it out way too long. As for the 3 versus 3, yet again, I need a really good strong push for that because we would need at least 4 teams would be 12 players. If you want to do double elimination, um, that could work out. Eight teams would be 24 players, and with double elimination would be a total of 6 brackets, which would be slightly longer than this stream. So also the games would be slightly longer because they typically go longer turns than what 1v1 will go for. So yet again, it's going to be a long commentation.
Yep.
So yes, on the 2v2, definitely. I've been hearing that, and I'll announce it for next week. And if we get enough players, we'll do it. We'll do it. As for the 3v3, I'm gonna need to see, people coming in and going, we need to do this because I just don't know enough 3v3 teams that are going to be able to participate in a live tournament like that. Um, those those are my opinions. Um, and hey, I'm not the only one that has to be hosting a live tournament. If you want to host your own, you can. It's just I'm doing this because Dunga stepped out of it, and I really wanted to do more live tournaments. And also, I met Mythonian and kcscrag and realized, hey, we can stream this. It's not going to be bad. It'll actually be pretty entertaining. Because I
Yep.
watched their YouTube videos and I was like, all right, this is pretty entertaining. Um, so the championship game is still at turn 13. We have Intimidator and Phantasmagoria still fighting it out, which is going to take quite a long time.
Oh yeah, that's a long game.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to watch.
Probably at least 20 turns. Jeez.
I hope not. I hope they're coming to an end
Hopefully.
because I do not want to. Well, I'm not even going to be commentating the last game. That'll be up to you guys.
Aw. Can't all three do the final game? Aw.
3, like I said, would be a little
Yeah.
bit too cluttered.
Yeah, you're right. I understand.
We can try and see how it works. Let the viewers decide.
Schwinnigan. Oh, by the way, about double elimination and losing from bad luck. Hey, I'm sorry. It happens sometimes. But this game is not only a skill-based game, but it is also a little bit luck-based. So
And sometimes a lot.
we kind of have to, take some bad medicine sometimes. Because I've had 1v1 games that were just like, man, why is my opponent getting first turn picks and moves like all game? And it's specifically annoying when you have an order priority, but your opponent plays an order priority and wins out. Yeah, I know, it's
Yeah.
frustrating sometimes, but double elimination would turn the stream from already 2 hours 50 minutes into 5 hours, and unless
I'd
you
be up for
expect
that,
me
but-
not to commentate any of the double elimination rounds, I mean the loser bracket, and yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand that Dunga did it that way, but Dunga wasn't commentating for it either. You know, I understand that, people would have a greater experience in the game, but when we're coming over in, yes, it would. It would, because you're going from you're going from 4 brackets to 8, because that's how it works. You double the brackets.
And actually, it's a little bit more than doubled because you have more rounds in the loser's bracket than normally in a winner's bracket.
Hmm.
Yeah, the loser's bracket does take a lot longer to go through than the winner's bracket in double elimination tournaments. So,
Because you have to wait for the winner's bracket to end.
and then that player to place the winner from the last loser bracket game, and then it just goes on in that manner.
So
If
yeah,
we did end up doing that, we would have to delay the stream even longer. We can't start a half hour. We'd have to give it even more time. Otherwise, we'd be in a situation like this constantly.
yeah, but Schwinnigan, you're also saying, yeah, we're waiting for the final game to end, but
No.
at this point we would be waiting for the loser bracket to end, and it would take a little bit longer than waiting for this game to end, I would think, because you're imagining this game is taking 30 minutes. Well, what if every game in the loser bracket took 30 minutes?
Then we'd be here for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't even need to be every game. It just needs to be one in each round.
Mm-hmm. Reza, we kind of skimmed over it, but we decided to go with Zerbi and Hedja over yours. Because it was a little bit more interesting. You missed Hedja versus Zerbi, and us talking about the next tournament being perhaps 2 versus 2. And what we might do is we might host a live 1v1 and then stream only the 2v2. Yeah, and Kinger's right. The purpose of this tournament isn't for it to be live, because live games are live tournaments can be as long as they want to be. It's supposed to be streamed, so we're trying to keep it at a pace that we can keep streaming things and keep it going and not be like overtaxing. You know, we don't want you sitting here for 5 hours. I don't want to be sitting here for 5 hours. I've got work at 5:15, so.
Yeah. Maybe we should start doing something similar to the seasonal ladder, where we change the settings every time and map.
Like I said, I wanted to do a streamed 2v2 tournament next, which I'm thinking about doing 8 teams. X Apex and Timinator would probably be able to do it because X said he was going to be able to come next game. JSA and I think we're going to be able to do it. So that's 2 teams. Then Schwenigan with my hand would be 3rd team. So from there we only need 5 more teams. HHH and somebody else could probably pair up.
Somebody else, just some
It
guy.
doesn't matter who else.
Well, I know HHH plays on 2v2 ladder with Dunga, but I've not yet seen Dunga show any interest into our streamed games yet.
Yeah.
And
I'd love to do 2v2 games. I think that'd be fun.
Unfortunately, you two will be commentating, not able to play.
Yeah, I know. So sad. But yeah, 2v2s are fun to watch too.
Yeah, you should, and that should be a little bit fun because you'll be able to see JSA and I play again, and we make an awesome team, I think.
Yay!
2v2s would take a little bit more time to go through, but like I said, we would have less brackets. We would do 8 instead of 16, definitely.
So it would overall reduce the time of the tournament.
Yeah, it would be about the same as this, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how fast.
Yeah, of course.
2v2 games can go pretty short. Once you knock out a player,
Yeah.
that should be over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2v2 and 2v2, pretty interesting.